I should start off saying big thanks to Tom, aka Clusterhead Survivor, yesterday for leading me to Meyer in British Columbia. Actually, it was all yesterday, and then something bad happened in Texas. Um, and actually, these incidents are really not relatable, except for one thing, which I'm going to touch on in the long run. But either way, both both were mass injuries. One guy in Victoria went around and started beating people in a Pandora store with a field hockey stick. Obviously, and he was beat. It was more than just one person he was after. He was hitting anybody apparently in sight. So shows the guy had something mentally going wrong with him. And now with this kid in Texas, apparently a bully victim. Um, Not only shooting but planting explosives all over. So even if he didn't have a gun, he had other measures to kill and destroy people's lives. Um, but the biggest problem I'm seeing, which is in the title, a lot of it's social media. Say these kids are getting bullied now. Back in my days, bullying would really, I mean, yeah, the internet was around, but nowhere has it exploded like it has now. There wasn't no Facebooks. Not many people had MySpace, which was comparable to Facebook back then. So there was that. There wasn't these platforms to attack people, really. Now, with this day and age, everybody having Facebooks, Twitters, and all that kind of jazz, it can make mass people go and pick on one individual. Whether the individual is famous, somebody they work with, somebody they go to school with, a family member, whatever. Unfortunately, this day and age, just because everyone could see it. See, before it'd just be isolated. Well, I mean, maybe there's still, like, I can't say completely isolated. It could still be a bunch of people picking on one kid. But the only ones who would see it, the ones were witnessing it there that day. I mean, no, don't give. I'm not trying to glorify or justify or anything. This is what I'm trying to get a point across here. Is see, there only been in that groups and have been word of mouth, but now with social media, this guy's got 10 friends, that guy's got 10 friends, that guy's got 10 friends. All those people could see that post. You got, next thing you know, there's 100 people from one school that could see a post that's picking on one kid. That's a major issue in society these days, and especially with all these warnings about picking on kids, it just seems like the bullying is kind of actually ramped up worse than it ever has. Um, Especially when people are getting beaten up for being handicapped. People are getting beaten up because they're on the wrong side of the political party, whatever. And then a lot of that's because it's been social media, mass bullying. These freaking martyrs or these people that think they're leaders for a cause, or just downright these bullies with this leader-like mentality. Get on social media, try to get a little army going against said person or against said someone with an opposite view. And so really, social media is one of the biggest things to blame when, as far as it comes to bullying. Now, as far as now, the shooters or people that run people over, vehicles themselves, bombers, what have you, social media is also to blame. A lot of these kids probably would have never had these ideas if things like, say, the Florida shooting wasn't fucking blowing right up. World news, stuff going on for a month, anti-gun protesters, pro-gun protesters clashing. And for a sick individual that really wants to do something to make a mark and make themselves well known, well, unfortunately, when they see stuff like that happen, it becomes inspiration. And that's another thing, problem with social media. Just the way people are subject to violence, terrorist attacks, people causing mass murders, like even the YouTube shooter, even though that kind of got swept under the rug a few days later, that day was blowing all up all over Facebook and Twitter, all over it. And see somebody with that lone wolf mentality kind of looks at something like that was blowing up all over in the media as inspiration, especially somebody who wants to get the face across the world. Um, yeah, like I saw Mel talk pretty much a little bit about it yesterday, and I on his live stream because I was kind of that's how my feelings yesterday when I started hearing about the different things that have happened. And actually, these are kind of the feelings before yesterday, anyways. Um, so this ain't a video about pro gun, anti gun, or nothing like that. That's not where I'm going with this at all. I don't even want to get in that discussion right now because that's a different topic for a different day. Um, but like obviously this kid was inspired by a lot of things. The bully himself in Texas, the kid that was bullied in Texas, obviously was inspired by a lot of things that he's seen chastised in the media over the years. And hell, we even keep hearing about Columbine, and it's easy to even find. That's another like the Columbine shooting happened when I was in high school. I think what 2001 or something like that. You could find at ease the security surveillance footage of Dalen Claiborne and that other kid that were going around the high school shooting. You can find footage of it inside the high school. One of them with the Uzis like that. So somebody with a sick individual that wants to cause harm sees something like that. It's going to start getting implanted. The more they start watching that, it's going to start getting implanted more and more and more as more and more dark stuff are happening to them. So it's the mixture is starting to build up right there. So, like, I could feel for the kids that have been bullied, but at the same time, you can't just destroy everyone's lives just because of a couple assholes. Um, and I know there's a lot of people who go, oh, there's always somewhere to turn to, and you got somebody to talk to. You know what? Be honest, from what I've seen happen to people, some people actually have nobody to turn to. They try to talk to their parents. The parents either have no time or don't want to listen to them. They have no friends to go to. There's other family members either non-existent or just not a good influence when it comes to things like that. And I've also seen people have gone to their counselors, gone to their principals, gone to their teachers about bullies, and then they end up facing bigger wrath and consequences later on. Or the fact that the bullier found out that kid told, so then that kid becomes a rat, and then more bad things ends up happening to that kid that's being bullied. So, um, like, so it's really I don't know what the answer is because again, these cliches don't seem to end up working out, especially when you hear some of these cases that happen and people said they've reported to local authorities and it was just overlooked. Or again, these bullies saying that they can't, these people that being bullied say they can't take anymore and they tell someone and they say they're either going to kill themselves or harm people and they get overlooked. I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, there might be everybody has someone to turn to, but this isn't a perfect world. More and more goes on each day. So, and then you just see the way things are happening across the world, especially with social issues. This world's almost on the verge of collapsing. The amount of stupidity that's going on. Anyways, that's all I got for you folks. I'm just waiting until Drunk News comes up with a parody video of this and repeatedly says incel. But anyways, folks, that's all I got for you guys. Good night and goodbye.